What's up, folks? Johnny Roadblock back with another video, and today's a special one. It is our first video of the Rainbow Six Siege Declassified series. In this series, we will go over all of the characters, their special traits, their loadout options, and what unique ability they bring to the game. For our first video of the series, we will be starting out with Thermite, probably by far my favorite attacking character in the game. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so for Thermite's stats, he has a 2 out of 3 for armor and a 2 out of 3 for speed. So pretty much medium range, a little bit on the higher end side when it comes to his armor, so he can get hit more. As well as on his speed, he's a little bit faster than the fully armored guys. For his unique ability, he carries the Brimstone Exothermic Charge, which pretty much opens up any barricaded wall, any door. But remember, it has a delayed effect, so make sure you take into account for that. So in the beginning I said Thermite was my favorite character. So with him I have a 1.73 KD, 1.22 win-loss, 2.4 million XP, and I've played with him for about 56.5 hours. So yeah, you can say he's my favorite. And it could also be that he's from the same hometown I am, of Plano, Texas. When it comes to Thermite's loadout, he has two primary weapons. The shotgun, the M1014, nice medium range, has a pretty good punch. However, I rarely use it. But when I do, I have the reflex scope on there to give me something a little bit better to aim at. For Thermite's other primary weapon, he has a 5.56 assault rifle. Now as you see here, I do have it outfitted with the ACOG scope, the silencer, as well as the foregrip. Now this is pretty much my standard loadout for him. Now before anyone starts hating on me for having the silencer on there, please understand I am a roamer. I really like going around, slow playing, taking out cameras, so this makes it so I don't have to continuously swap between my primary and my secondary weapon. Now on to Thermite's secondaries, he has two sidearms. He has the M45, which up until a couple weeks ago was my favorite sidearm. However, the game for some reason really nerfs the pistols, so I've decided to switch over for a pistol that has more ammo. But again, as you see here, I do run a silencer just to make it harder for the enemy to see me. So this is the pistol that I do go with. It's the 5.7, and I prefer it because it honestly simply gives me 13 more rounds, so I don't have to reload as much. So right here you see the two gadgets that Thermite can choose from. Frag grenade, which is just like every other frag grenade, great unless you're playing with hostage. The only time I ever carry the breach charge right here is when I am playing with hostage. That's just so I am less likely to kill the hostage, which I seem to have a knack for doing. Okay, so as we go into the gameplay, you'll see here that I chose Thermite. I have a silencer on my rifle. I am going with the ACOG scope. Also chose to go with grenades this time. So in this round, I actually get killed before I actually get any kills, so it kind of sucked for me, but I kept it in here because I wanted you guys to see kind of the gameplay aspects of Thermite and myself. So as you see here, I'm clearing the room, I'm taking out cameras. If you watched my last video on situational awareness, you'll note that I explain why I do this. I want to take away any type of vision into what my guys are doing, so the enemy has no clue. Keep them kind of blind. Again, taking out cameras. Now I do have the video sped up quite a bit, so it doesn't really show the true clearing of these areas as much as it does in real gameplay time, but you kind of get the gist. To go through, I'm taking wide corners, checking the room, scanning it, making sure I don't have any enemies hiding somewhere where they can get a good shot off on me. So after I clear the bedroom, kind of move up a little bit faster. In this game, The two guys that are in my party chat, we're talking to each other the entire time, explaining what we're doing, why we're doing it, and we went with a split method. Now, we do this because we only had 3 in our party, so we couldn't count on the other folks to do what we wanted them to do because we did not have our settings to game chat, which is a bad thing for us, but it is what it is. Here, teammate gets put down. I revive him. Now, he did get his EMP grenade out quick enough before he got shot to be able to knock out the electric charge on that wall, so I'm able to go ahead and thermite through it. Now, as I said, there is a delay on the brimstone, so they saw it coming, and right about here is when I'm going to get wasted by Rook. So we end up losing round 2. I have 4 kills, 1 death. Now, going into round 3, it's not a Rook show, Rook video, so I didn't show the full thing. We won that round. I ended up with, I think, 2 or 3 additional kills. Here, I'm with Thermite, again, grenades, and his rifle. So, as you see here, you have my guy Snapcase. He's linked to a lot, in my videos. He's a good buddy of mine from Montreal, great gamer, and so check out his channel if you can. But we decided to split. I'm gonna come in from the front of the plane. He's gonna come in from the rear with, I think, 2 of the other folks in the squad, as well as our guy that's in our party chat. Again, I'm clearing the staircase, clearing the downstairs area, making sure that we don't have any guys roaming, taking out cameras again. Now, I'm getting told that, they have some hostiles, they need some assistance. Here is one of the other guys in the squad, again, not in comms with us. So I'm trying to play off, what he's doing and being there to support him. So he blew through the door, came in. He's checking it out. Now, as you see here, I'm going to kind of creep around the corner, see what's going on. It's going to be clear, and I'm going to go ahead and start moving up. Now, I am noticing right now that I don't have any electricity. I'm not hearing any mute. So, for me, I can come right up here, put my brimstone up, and let's get the party rocking. Again, delay. It blows up. Now you see this big cloud of smoke that just entered the room. That is horrible for me because I can barely see what's going on. Now, one of the things about the silencer on this rifle, it nerfs it down bad. So it takes a lot more shots to actually get the kill unless you get a headshot like I just did on that one. Now, I almost emptied an entire clip into that guy just to get him down and dead. So here, again, scoping it out. What really comes in handy with that ACOG is I'm able to stay behind cover and be able to see what's going on far enough away where I can reach out and get some shots. Here we're down to one last enemy. It's Doc. We're looking for him. I get a call out saying he's behind the shield. They send a shock drone in. I throw a grenade to either blow him up or get him to come out. Now, I ran out of bullets, but instead of switching to my secondary, I moved in closer so I could get the stab kill because I knew he was going to resuscitate himself. So that was the end of the match. Round 4 down. We ended up taking it 3-1. I ended up with 10 kills, 1 assist, and that 1 death that I showed you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was our first one in the series for the Rainbow Six Declassified. Please make sure you take a look at the channels I support. Snapcase Gaming's on there. He has some good videos, great tips. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. This is Johnny Roadblock, checking out.